All right, y'all, part 2 on the great earthquake coming of the 6th seal, because you're in that 5th seal time frame on the altar of souls, because Trump came out with those streets of gold for that abomination of the debt solution to pay off his debt and those types of things, okay? Now, I understand that the church is teaching this, that, and the other, and I understand that the prophets and the pastors never align. The prophets and the preachers never align. The prophets and the Pharisees never align. Same with Jesus, okay? Jesus and the prophets are there to go against the pastors, Pharisees, temples, churches, and those things, because there's called a leaving behind. If you're left behind in church, you're still that carnal nation, and you don't understand how Jesus lives inside of all of us, and he's returning within us, and he's gathering the body within us, and this is being done through light. And God is light, and man is the lampstand, and we are the sons of God, and we transfer light from one to the other. This is how Jesus has given us a key, and he's also made us blind and deaf, and all these things go together, okay? So, I understand the multiple layers of the brainwashing, and I understand there's a veil lifting, and a lot of these people under the spell, under the American dream, who are asleep in different ways or whatever, they need these carnal things to go off to shake them. And even though these carnal things are going to go off to shake them, it's not going to be happening in such a way that they've been brainwashed to think, but it is going to be happening in such a way where they start listening and waking up, because it's called a left behind. And if they make it through these trials, which 80% of them, it seems like they're not going to do it because they've changed their light inside of them, the messenger of light, which is the RNA, that nuke to the temple. But that message, that light, has been transferred. And depending how many times it's been transferred will depend on how many lights of the flashlight you get flickering on, okay? So 0 times, this will be a time of a great awakening. 1 time, you might get some flickers. They might start seeing or whatever, right? Like, we won't get into that. That's a rabbit trail. So, let's get into the white horse real quick, because we need to tie us into this 6th seal, because it's coming upon you. And I was ahead of the game a little bit, and we're coming up on those times, and that 8.5 or maybe an 8.8 quake, and that quake should cause something to happen in the middle of the nation, right? This Juan de Foca plates, or another volcano going off in the Oregon area, or a quake going off in Los Angeles or Hawaii, or a big one in Alaska or whatever. These can chain reaction the quake on the San Madrid in the middle of the nation. All right. So this is where I was in that vision, because I lived in that area at that point, and I was kind of taken away from there during the abomination, the first time with Obama. And then, we got pregnant with our second child, and for whatever reasons that stacked up, we came back to the area we came from. We went from, DFW area where I grew up for 35 years, and then moved to Colorado almost 2 years, went to Oklahoma, and then we left Oklahoma finally after 8 years of like spiritual and carnal tribulations. And I'm going to get into some stories on that, connecting some points of light on these things. But because I know the Spirit's moving through people right now, and the Spirit's telling you to go here, go there, the sudden destruction's coming, get ready, or whatever, right? I took my family to Wyoming the first time thinking that we're going to be living in a tent in the middle of winter. All right. But it just so happens that things worked out where we didn't do that, where the Spirit was just taking his. Dude, is so effing crazy, dude. I wish I could explain it. I'm going to try and explain these things better, but it was just completely nuts, dude, what went on. Okay? And either way, dude. I put this content out because I have to. All right. Either way. So the white horse, that corona crown, that china bow, that bow, that's been given. These things are going to play out in a, I told you, spiritual to the carnal, right? Right now we have the Biden and the hunter and the bow that died before, okay? All these things are stacking together as far as that carnal time frame, and the Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, and the Jack jumped over that can-dill stick. That can-dill stick is for that Texas Hold'em, and Jack and Jill break the crown. So, or Jack breaks the crown and Jill comes tumbling after. That's that crown and those types of things. So, the as a deadly head wound. This happened with Twitter and Kathy Griffin holding up the bloody head. So we can see as a deadly head wound with Biden happening. And then we can see as a deadly head wound with the Tyson-Paul fight. And we're going to break that shit down in another video. The red horse, that is the Russia. All right, that's one bear. You also have the bear of California. These things are coming. And the Gavin, that's the GA, the George, for the Vin, for the heaven. That's part of the replay on the George Washington spirit for the dividing of the nation and those things. The black horse is part of that sat on him. Had a pair of balances on his hand. That's tied to Letitia and Fanny, the two women, where that birth of the dawn through the eclipse and such. It's coming with that. And then also you had the critical race with the black stuff coming. And we'll see those things lining up. And this is where you have like the color purple, the purple party coming with the black woman, where Beyonce or Oprah or Michelle Obama, even though she says she's not running, right? But they're not running. They're just going to come in for a still. From September to November is pure fucking chaos. And that's like where we're going to see like Tiger King kind of style 2016 presidential run stuff coming in and those things and getting nuts. But the Pale Riders, the Palestine, them attacking Israel. All right, so that's the four horsemen there, and that takes you up to the fifth seal, and then that's where you have the altar of the souls. So the pair of balances and the Palestine, and now the altar of souls for that Lord's Day on 2/16, the 666 times. And then 3/18 is a year after the Daniel's Day start, and the 70 weeks is on 7/20/24, and that marks the day of the first day of the Ides of March on one calendar count. Okay. So that's when we could see the first round of market crash, or we might see like they might do an ATM spew, right, to gather the beast, like a freeze, the free money, and then the freezies, the free sleep, and then we're going to see them do like a spray event or bomb or whatever kind of thing at these St. Patty's Day things or whatever they got planned for St. Patty's. But we'll keep our eye open on reflections. But all these little holidays and holy days and holidays or whatever, these are going to be these time frames. And if it's not this year, it's the next year on that next holiday or whatever kind of thing. But we're going counterclockwise and clockwise. This is where we get Back to the Future Part 1 with the Eric Stoltz, and then that could be Eric Adams or Eric Trump or whatever. And then we got, and that would be Adam in the Garden on the East Coast, the Beast Coast, because you have Garden of Eden setting up. And either way, so that we've been seeing like this on a couple movies where they hear something. This could be tied to the trumpets. The trumpets could be actually literally sounding and people are hearing shit or whatever. And this would be like that first alarm, like, what the fuck was that, right? But they hear this, and this could go on like 7 times before the appearance of the spaceships or whatever. Or maybe the spaceships show up. There's like one show up at the first trumpet and blast, and then it does it more and more and more and builds. And then that's like the gathering of the body. And it's like a slow reveal, and you know what I mean? Because it has to give time for the pebble to be thrown and cause ripples in the water and all these things, okay? So 420, that would be a great day for the first appearance of the aliens, or 420 would be a good day for that earthquake. I don't think that what they're doing with this eclipse thing on 4/8, which is the 8/4 Obama's birthday on the mirror, all right? They're setting these things up. So when people start hearing these things, they go and start looking, and it's all preset, right? So if you're getting information like mine, it's very rare that you're even coming across my information. So this is where y'all need to start sending the information to whoever it is, because the person listening will hear, and the light, the body, it's all going to be gathered up, okay? And they need to know when they hear these sounds, they need to go outside or whatever's going on, and they need to see and get this light going on. They need to get this alien, so-called, because that's the return of your God, the invisible God, all right? There's the invisible God that works through the living God, which is us. And this invisible God works through men, and there's a test, and the system is fallen, and in all these different ways, and the Bible's there to teach us positive and negative, and neutrality, and life, and death, and that heaven and earth, and the kingdom, the keys, all these things are right here, right now, and it's within us. And it's all a matter of us grabbing it. And as the new heaven and earth are opening up, the window into heaven is all in our hand. And as we get to a certain point in time, the people might come eye to eye with, they might do a broadcast from an alien or whatever. They think it's all fake. This would be kind of that Blue Beam Project, where you got to know what's going on. And you got to know that the aliens work through light, and ET phone home. Okay? So it's all there. And all these, and as the aliens show, as the technology and all this stuff comes together in one light, that's when the church is going to trickle out, and the last are first and the first are last. Those who you think are crazy, well, they're not going to be crazy anymore. Those who are poor, they're not going to be poor anymore, or whatever kind of thing. Or people who are rich, they're going to be poor, and all those things. So there's many things that are stacking up on these things, and the church is there to blind you. The church is where you go to seek salvation. The church is where Paul has taken what Jesus has said, and him, the Pharisee, who used to kill Christians, he's coming in and offering them a spiritual death. Hey, why kill him when I can torture him for life? And torture the women especially, and all these other things. And we see that Saul changed to Paul and all these things. So maybe Paul used to be a woman, or vice versa, or whatever's going on there, whatever he's trying to hide. Okay, notice these guys change their names, and there's so much going on, dude. And these carnal Jews, these people seeking salvation, the synagogue of Satan, is reading all this as a carnal book. Okay? And it's, they're there to blind you. And the sheep, they can't think. Do you want to be the sheep? A sheep is a type of beast. And it's telling you the sheep are amongst the flock with wolves, and you're the prey. Amen. Amen Ra. That's the church number 4 of Laodiceans that prays to Amen. That's the Amen. Amen Ra. The ones who worship the God of creation in the beginning. That's the garden. That's the first hell. All right. I've broken it down for you many times. We're going to end it here.